Hello everybody and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo where we're continuing from where we left off. I certainly hope she hasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat of the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. Mrs. Abazabusa ushers us in, and in short order we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume? That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a estimate to the sheer amount. Is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Abrazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now has Emmy told you where you're going? Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early. I nod in assent and stand up, ready to go. Well then, shall we? Mrs. Abarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again and probably means that I'm right, as she is starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out, and that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. And since I promised to go with her anyway, I promise there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. We're off! Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and head out the back at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. The car pulls up to a cemetery gate, so I feel Emmy tense up behind me. I reach over and grab her hand, give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? The concept of not walking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were and what they could have been if they'd had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that is nearly a jog. And the sooner we get there, I expect she thinks the better. We're here. Oh shit. A gravestone, wholly unmarked, holy. Unmarked is everything except the name etched upon it. The grass has grown up around the base. Amy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. What? I'm warming up to it. Uh, People tend to think that pink is my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, and even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for the strawberries. And that it's my favorite color. But it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course. And it's not that kind of thing worth getting worried about. But I'll bet though even you thought pink was my favorite color. Blue, that's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that. And now you do too. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. Well, that's one potential date idea out the window. People all think I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a few close friends, probably because I keep everyone in the dark. But I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think I can run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku. But in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with the distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing toward the finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip 1 year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I thought I wouldn't be able to use what was left of them. After the surgery, it was clear that their initial reaction was mistaken. Assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock, short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I had experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that, or if they told me that all the patients learning to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs, and I lost my father as well. Huh? He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravesite until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happened. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know? These things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned and they aren't also always bad. And they aren't always good, but they are. So I made a decision that I would live without worrying about the future. And to be sure that I never had to say goodbye again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away from me at any time. And you know what? She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me. I'm not finished. A deep breath, and she continues. It worked pretty well until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust the stuff here, so I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice and I couldn't help it. I just... Oh. The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest. I tried not to fall for you, but I did. But then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something, but as soon as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me and I can't help laughing. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity. Embry presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Amy, would there have been any motivation to keep on with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks at me confused. We'll go on living until we stop. And when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we've had time together. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy. And right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through the tears and steps back from me. You know, it's funny. What is? I thought the best way to live in the moment ways to live in the moment. Wait, what? I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now, I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Sal. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay at the grave for a while, as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-committedly. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We pause outside the girls' dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay. The walk up to her room is in silence. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to be turned away at the door. I guess I'm just assume she wants to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, the mom, hers, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it's best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me to the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in, the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss and starts out soft, but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me? Please? Her voice has dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asked the question. The hastency in it, the quiet voice, and makes me think that she doesn't mean tonight. So, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight, or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. I'm gonna keep going, but there is some nudity coming up, so I'll stop it there and I'll continue from the next point. Okay, so there's no limit to her request. There's just a request. What? A favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course! We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. Oh, here it is. Okay, see you guys in a little bit. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I'll explain what happened. We had sex, and Emmy said she loves me, and we spent the night together. Our first night together. Okay, so let's continue. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. This result in waking me up earlier than I would have if I had gone back into my room. Last night, as God, I'm butchering the sentence. Let me try again. This result in my waking up earlier than I would have if I had gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form causes me to look to the side. Hair splayed across her face, Emmy continues to sleep peacefully curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I can get used to. The small size of the bed here necessitates her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. The covers are nearly over her head, and I smile as the errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer, a move which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest. But I don't mind. I don't mind. I am no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in reposed against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling, considering how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems like only yesterday when she ran into me in the hallway, and after apologizing decided to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain. Having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can to not lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed, as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. This isn't really nudity, so I'm gonna leave it in. All you can see is her butt crack. Alright. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Sal. Hi, you sleep well? Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know. I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Well, enough, although you kept hogging the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it all seems, waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to. Look at that scary bunny over there. Jeez. What the hell does she have this over here? What's that for, Emmy? What is this for, Emmy? Hehehe. Hey, Sal. Huh? Thanks for sticking around. No problemo way. Saved me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. No, really? No, really, I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do. And you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and puffles her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky, I think, to have come through everything after my heart attack and somehow find this girl, and is nothing short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Amy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around if you want. I'd like that. That settles it then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working. I don't even what know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to the university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think. So, Hisao? Huh? What do you want to do today? And is that it? Oh my god, guys. That has been Katawa Shoujo. What an, what an, I don't know. This was really interesting. I really like reading, but, you know, I had to stop a lot because I was becoming short of breath and all that stuff. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. But other than that, this was really fun for me. So maybe I'll do another like playthrough of this just to like find. I wanna get the bad endings or ending. Find a bad ending. I found one before, and yeah, I wanna see if I could do. I'll probably do that in the future. Maybe even like next time I'm recording. So who knows? So with that, I'll see you guys in the next LP. Later.